Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Ontario Indoor Cup Under-18 Girls Final. We have a pretty interesting match brewing here between Norwest London and Erin Mills Eagles. These two teams did meet yesterday in their tournament round. They were both part of Group A, making their way into the semi-final on that occasion. Both had good records in that tournament round, 2 wins and 1 draw each. The 1 draw, of course, was against each other. So it was a 0-0 tie last time around. Obviously, we are in the final today, so that is an impossible outcome. I actually did see, on behalf of Erin Mills, Dana Rugole taking penalties. I don't know whether that was in anticipation, perhaps, of a tied event at the end of this game. But we will see if it comes to that. Speaking of yesterday, obviously this is a journey for the Ontario Indoor Cup that started for both of these teams back in January. And over the course of several weekends, several regional play-ins and tournament and playoff rounds and tournaments and so on and so forth, they found themselves here to the final here at the Ontario Soccer Centre. One thing to maybe look out for is that Erin Mills actually, over the course of their three games yesterday, actually only scored 2 goals. Both of their wins were 1-0 wins. So it's possible that their winning record is predicated on defensive solidity. This London team, on the other hand, were a little more free scoring, but as mentioned, unable to break a deadlock last time out. As the referee, he gets us underway. London, all in red, will be kicking from right to left for this half. Erin Mills will be head to toe in black. They'll be kicking left to right. Some nice work early on. Sees Emily Andrus getting herself into a good position, but her shot right into the midriff of Alexis Shishko-Barry and the Erin Mills net. Fuhrman just about able to be strong and come away with it. Looking for the run of Emily Andrus, but neatly cut out by Chumber. That squared pass for Rugole was fielded nicely. Chumber on for Zawalski. Sprays that one across. Looks for the open play. Oh, what a good effort. A sharp, rasping effort from Reese Fowler. Wasn't particularly well read by Taylor Mitchell. Slipped through her hands. And I'm sure the London keeper would be very, very grateful to have seen that one just squeeze its way wide. Corner fired down at the near post. Half cleared. Zawalski looks for the shot back in. As Jenna Murray not able to keep that ball in play. Erin Mills back on the attack. Zawalski plays the simple ball in for Chumber. She'll advance with the ball at her feet. Finds Fowler, but it's a good shape from London. Not really letting anything through the middle. That's a good drop from Rugole. Looking to play in her winger, Khadura. Neat work, though, from Bilota to keep that one moving. And then good movement into that space. She has a run out. That's a great ball for Maddie Wilson to chase. But Chumber does well to recover. Gives away only a corner. As we ring the changes for London. Maddie Wilson plays that one short. Keeps it alive. Moves it back for Dominguez. Thomas finds Wilson. Dominguez has made a run. Oh, Fowler does well to deny Hicks any kind of space. London playing this quickly, keeping this ball moving. When they have the ball, they look very comfortable in possession. Oh, Rugole does very nicely. Feeds in Kodura, who was a judge just unable to keep that ball in play. Thomas will get us restarted for London. Oh, it's a nice flick on from Matty for Hicks to chase. But Zawalski does very nicely to keep that one from any kind of danger. I just want to take a quick moment to say thank you to Toronto FC. They're proud to support youth soccer in Ontario. Wilson looking for options. Thomas was creeping into the top of the box. Beats one, but dispossessed by Fowler. Toronto FC are oh, Thomas as well to get back. They're a premier partner of Ontario soccer. Kodura is able to bring that one down. Finds Zawalski. Erin Mills will look to settle this for a second. TFC are the premier partner of Ontario Soccer, presenting partner of the Ontario Player Development League. Chumbura able to find Kodura with a nice pass. But not any further. Again, this is a good work from London. This is a good shape. Anything up the middle is perhaps slightly wasteful, as they will close that trap. Fowler are judged to have been a little too brusque in her attentions towards Alicia Dominguez. As London again keep these legs very fresh. Full changes once more. Again, I suppose a few programming notes on the format we have in front of us. It is two 25-minute halves today. As you can tell, I'm sure that the games are 6-a-side with 1 goalkeeper and 5 outfield players. There'll be a short half-time, 5 minutes or so. A loose touch there from Michaela Talbot. But Rossborough with a nice ball across is able to find Jennifer Milligan, who lets loose a sharp shot. The referee feels was saved by Hrishko Barry, who was doing well to make sure. Sensible. That ball is quickly played in. Erin Mills almost caught sleeping. Clark Jolly that time looking to make the break down the line, but not able to get away from the attentions of her marker. Oh, a little flick there, looking for Michaela Talbot in the middle, but a little loose. That ball up the middle, just about getting to where I want it to go. Oh, GS Clark Jolly slips there, but is still able to just about get away with the ball. Zawalski's ball up the line, though. My mistake. Kinsley Curran's ball up the line. A little loose. And as I'm sure you've noticed as well, we do have kick-ins rather than throw-ins at this level, or in this particular tournament. Talbot looks to keep that one in, does well, but Curran is there, sweep that one away, unable to get it past Milligan, however. Oh, and Wittenberg was chasing that one in, but Hrishko Barry was sharply out to it and looked to catch a boot in the head for her troubles. But was very brave in at the feet of the advancing forward. A loose pass there from Thurman. What we have in front of us today is of course, the final of the Ontario Indoor Cup. It's a tournament which, if you can believe it, began back in 1987, which is a long time, of course, before any of the players here were born. Back in 87, it started as that's just about getting away with the challenge on from the forward. Back then, it started as an event in the Sky Dome, as it was then known, on a piece of turf with boards around it, and has since evolved. Jenna Murray looking for the shot ball back in. Since evolved into what we see before us now. It's a six-a-side tournament. London keep that ball moving around the back. Furman, not really anywhere to go. Gets it back from Manprise. Furman. Bilotto was looking to feed in Andrus, but Publikova was not about to let that one happen. Manprise is looking up, and it's, oh my word, a ball that had found its way to Emily Andrus in a position that you would not have really have thought of as particularly dangerous. It was some way out, but the strike was clean, and it made its way all the way through, ringing off the bottom of the left-hand post. A great effort. Good ball movement by London to find that space and to find that opportunity. And again, as mentioned, it was further out than you really would have considered dangerous. Erin Mills will really need to be aware of those long shots if they want to make sure they maintain their strong defensive record. As mentioned, they only scored 2, but they conceded 0 in the tournament play yesterday. Fowler, who had that great opportunity early on, appears to have switched sides. Oh, a nice ball through for Feminier, who was able to look up and find the shot, but the pass through from Sultana was just found the seam beautifully, sliced through a massed London defense. As mentioned, they marshalling their shape nicely to deny anything through the middle, but the pass from Sultana looked to have eyes on it as it made its way through. This is pretty good pressure from Erin Mills, but London just about to find their way through it. Wilson looked to have it under control. Not quite, though. Thomas, nowhere really to go. Fowler, who looks like a real danger player for Erin Mills, keeps that one in. Also going to take a second to say thank you to Ontario soccer partner Soccer Express for their first-class support. As London move this ball forward, I'm going to tell you that they are Canada's premier dealer. Soccer Express has everything you need to take your game to the next level. Once you've finished spending your time with us here and watching this Under-18 Ontario Indoor Cup final, visit soccerx.com and you'll find out the latest gear from Adidas, Nike, Puma, Admiral, and everything else. Wilson gets this one across for Thomas, looking to find an opening, looking to break Erin Mills apart a little bit. Oh, a nice step from Thomas. As Hicks was able to maneuver and manufacture a little bit of space for herself, the shot on this occasion not quite as sharp and as accurate as she would have wanted, perhaps not cleanly struck. Thomas looks up, looking for an option. Fleming looking to switch that play to Hicks. Not quite able to keep that one in, keep that ball alive. Wilson with a bit of time to turn on it. And Remish, again, Erin Mills knowing when to press and knowing when not to. Nice. Maintaining their shape. Good job, Dina, good job. Nice. As mentioned, the game is taking place at the Ontario Soccer Centre. which is your home from everything, to national championships, to Ontario Indoor Cup, which we see today. And it's where champions are made. If you and your champions would like to rent field time at the Ontario Soccer Centre, then please do call 905-265-TURF. That's 905-265-TURF for availability. Ramesh gets us back underway. As Rachel Rosborough will move that ball down the line. This is good work from London. That's not a bad ball from Ramesh for Talbot to chase. Just a little bit ahead of her, but they did nicely as Wittenberg had dropped in and created a little bit of space for Dominguez to run into, or Talbot, my apologies, to run into. Ball from Talbot a little bit loose. Just beyond Milligan. But Zavalki will take the kick in for Erin Mills. A sharp ball that would have been very impressive if Rugole had been able to do anything with, but she very nearly was able to manufacture some kind of problem for London. Milligan, nowhere to go. Does a sensible thing, keeps hold of it. A lot of space now for London to move into. A dangerous position there for the cross, but excellent covering work from Leah Pearson. And again, Erin Mills caught napping slightly on this corner. It's not the first time that had happened. The ball finds its way to Talbot. Oh, and a very, very sneaky ball. Very well disguised pass for Milligan. Erin Mills once again bailed out slightly by Hrishko Barry, who was more alive to the danger than perhaps her defenders were. But the pass from Talbot was very, very nicely disguised, and Milligan had found herself in a good position, perhaps almost too close to the net in order to be able to do anything too productive with it. Hrishko Barry was onto it very quickly and made sure that on this particular occasion there wouldn't be a goal. We've got just about 9 minutes left in this first half. We are tied at 0-0. There's been good opportunities from both teams. But London, you'd have to say, have come closer, striking the post on a long shot from Emily Andrus, who finds herself in possession of the ball now. Her pass for Jenna Murray a little bit behind her, but the on-rushing Lauren Manprise looking to gain some territory. London keeping this game very calm, really not that frenzied just yet. They look like they want to wait and make sure they have the opportunities, make sure the patterns are there. Oh, but a loose ball from Furman is beyond Andrus. The Sultana, who had previously was the one who had played that very nice pass for Erin Mills' best chance of the half. Looked up, but that time nothing doing. Nothing came of it. Murray not quite able to bring that one down. And Chumbo gets us restarted. Looking for Publicover, but the ball not able to settle too much. Murray now having the time. Finds Thomas. Well, that's good work from Fleming. Looking for that out to in run from Murray, but nicely marshaled by the Erin Mills defense. That's well taken by Thomas. Keeps it moving for Fleming. Andrus nearly able to take that on the turn, but just glancing off of her laces. And we have pretty much wholesale changes on both teams. Oh, Munir, who had also done well earlier to fashion a chance for herself. Looking for the flick on there for her counterpart, Hamo, but... Oh, a nice little ball for Hamo to chase, but again, Fleming alive to it. Thomas still open on the left side after she started that play, still able to find the space. An absolute pinball in the middle of the penalty box there. Thomas's ball causing complete chaos. Hicks was able to get something on it, but not quite get it under control. She was surrounded by 3 defenders. And they're just about able to bundle it away for the corner. The short one played in. Wilson looking to move that ball in, but not getting anywhere. Pearson looks to clear. Oh, Wilson tried to leave it, but didn't get past Curran there. With around 5 minutes left in the half, I just want to mention Sports Engine. They are the official technology partner of Ontario Soccer. They're the leading provider of sport life management tools for youth and amateur sports. And again, once you finish spending your time with us here today, I would advise you check out sportsengine.com to see how they can help keep your club running in stride on and off the pitch this season. Hicks is onto that rebound sharply and is able to drive right up the middle of the field and take the shot. Rishko Barry again alive to it though and more than equal to the task. Fending it away, giving up only a corner. Maddie Wilson will now stand over it for London. Keeps it simple, plays it short, retains possession. As London look to maneuver the ball through those space, work those angles a little bit, keep it moving and find their way through, pick their way through. And a thus far resolute Erin Mills defense. Wittenberg works it short with Fleming, but the ball across, not a particularly good one. Fowler is in a good deal of space over on the other side, but Talbot is alive to that, and anything slightly wayward was going to get picked off. Chumba gets that ball into Zawalski. Zawalski then advancing with it, but not getting it past Fleming. He was able to skip past the challenge of Zawalski, tried to play it through for Wittenberg, but was just ahead of her. Again, Rishko Barry alive to that. Aware of that danger, sharp off her line to pick that one up. A ball looking for Kabura, but being cut out by Holly Ramesh. Zawalski just puts that one over and very, very nearly reined in by Dana Rugule. That would have been some play. With the ball up from Michener now, just rolling right through to her counterpart in the opposition net. Zawalski with the time to turn, face up, but nowhere really to pass the ball. Not a bad ball for Fowler to chase, but just a little bit ahead of her. Slightly different wavelengths there from Chumba and Fowler. Andrus looking to look up, but not quite able to keep hold of that. Oh, and she just glides past two challenges. Now the angle was against her, shooting on her right foot, but she was looking for that near post. Hrishko Barry rather, I'm not sure she had that kind of completely covered, but unfortunately it was the shot this time was just pulled a little bit. But that was good work from Andress, who thus far has been a real danger point for London. She just kind of drifted past two challenges at the same time. Fugole receives that ball after dropping deep, is able to turn. Dances past the attentions of Mackenzie Belotto, is able to manufacture a shooting opportunity, but was slipping slightly as she struck the ball. Wasn't really able to catch it as cleanly as she wanted, but that's good work from the Erin Mills striker, dropping into a bit of space and disrupting that London shape a little bit. Kadura looking for the return ball, not quite able to get it to. Oh, that's a nicely timed challenge from Zawalski. But Erin Mills will likely want to avoid letting Andress and the other Norwest players build up that head of steam with running with the ball through the middle of the field. Bouncing nicely to Andress, but Fowler is there to make sure that doesn't get a clean look. Furman's attempt is trapped by Zawalski, and that is our half. That was a 25 minutes of football that really zipped by. Some good opportunities for both teams, but it's tight. They're both holding their defensive shapes very well, not really giving much up. Both of these teams are going to have to work hard to break this 0-0 deadlock. We're going to have a quick 3-minute break, there or thereabouts, get our breaths back as much as the players, and we'll join you shortly. Ontario Indoor Cup Under-18 Girls Final. We are currently locked at 0-0. Neither Erin Mills nor Norwest London have been able to make a breakthrough thus far, but it's been a tight, taut game. There have been a few good chances, but for the most part, we've seen just some very good defensive work, solid defensive shapes, good play from both teams. Norwest in particular doing really well, working their angles nicely. So that ball is back for Fleming. That surname, of course, quite a famous one in Canadian soccer circles right now. It'd be a good day for the Fleming household if Elise was able to win the Ontario Indoor Cup on the same day that sister Jessie is able to win the CONCACAF Women's Championship that she is in right now. A game I'm sure you'll all be watching later on this evening. Oh, a neat turn there from Wilson. As mentioned, just Norwest really able to kind of like work these very, very neat little back heel from Wilson into the path of Hicks. She came onto it perhaps a little bit too quickly, and maybe it was caught in her feet slightly, but Norwest definitely out of the traps a little bit quicker than Erin Mills in this second half. Publicova able to just about keep hold of the ball, but Pearson harried under the attentions of Dominguez. I mentioned this in the first half from the close there. These two teams did play one another yesterday. It was a 0-0 draw. And Erin Mills had made their way through the tournament round with 2 1-0 wins and that 0-0 draw, so hadn't conceded. Whereas London had scored a few more goals. Or Norwest. My apologies. London had hit the post in the first half and had a couple of good opportunities, well saved by Hrishko Barry in the Erin Mills net. Talbot turning, wriggling around, trying to find some space. able to get the ball over for Rachel Rosberg to fire across the penalty box, but the attempted back flick from Emily Andrus just not timed correctly. And then the ball up from Žižko Barry is pretty wasteful as Norwest are able to quickly retake possession. Remish looking for Talbot, a nice turn, able to get up. And good work from Wittenberg to put it back into the path of Talbot, who can play it over for Fleming. My mistake, Jennifer Milligan. But Erin Mills able to recover well and deny any opportunity. Milligan plays that one short for Talbot, who had moved well into the space. She has the option and takes it for Remish, and then back to Talbot. Milligan. Again, this is good work from Norwest. They're always moving to be an option, always moving to find space and provide passing lanes. Well, Talbot's passed inside a little loose, but Rosberg able to dispossess Public over before she can get it a ball away. And her cross flashed through a penalty box that I'm sure Erin Mills were very thankful was completely devoid of red shirts. But such is the nature of this particular form of the game, though. Those are still dangerous balls to play. We did see an opportunity in the first half that was a real pinballed effort that nearly made its way in for Norwest. Hamo looking for that ball back in the middle, but well scouted by Andrus. Oh, and the ball across, not making it any further than Murray, but a nice touch. But Andrus simply not giving up on that. Looks for Murray, but Chumba alive to that and cutting it out. Bilota striding down the field and looking for the cut in from Andrus, but not having any luck with it. Ball from Žižko Barry for Minea to chase. It's a little long, but a touch too ambitious. The ball squeezed through the gap for Bilota, but she has nowhere really to go. Looks for the on-rushing advance of Lauren Manprise, but again, the centering pass doesn't get much further than the Erin Mills defense. Now Bilota again striding up the middle, trying to make inroads through this packed Erin Mills defense. Andrus, who has had shots from this far out previously, does really well in the face of a couple of defenders. Dances around one challenge, works the space, gets the opportunity, but unfortunately fires her shot hard, but right down the throat of the keeper, Žižko Barry, in the Erin Mills net, who did well to kind of beat it down and redirect the force. Norwest really kind of picking up where they let off, like cutting off passing lanes, maintaining a solid defensive shape, not really allowing anything down the middle. And Erin Mills perhaps let down slightly by their lack of movement. They had good opportunities in the first half when their striker, Fulgone, who has just rejoined us, would drop into that space a little bit and look to kind of like break apart that Norwest shell. Savalski's clearance not any further than Wilson. Hicks keeps that one moving for Thomas. Elise Fleming It's a nice ball from Wilson, but she doesn't want to let it run onto her left foot. She now does just dash past Zawalski, who is able to keep with Wilson, keep with the winger, and put a challenge in. Give up nothing but a corner. Oh, it's a disguised pass into the center from Wilson there, and Hicks was able to play it back. They were able to manufacture a bit of space, get themselves another corner. Dominguez, twisting, turning, trying to get somewhere, wins a free kick. Challenge for Pearson was perhaps a little bit rash. Referee Hick ensuring Wilson has enough space. There are bodies in the box. Oh my word, Wilson played that one across looking for Thomas. Kodura was able to get onto that and certainly cut it out before it made it to the Norwest player, but her redirection very nearly made its way into her own net. Just about went out for a corner. Her intervention in this in that instance, valuable but risky nonetheless. Fleming looking to set things up. A ball to Wilson is cut out by Zawalski. Remisha just to have the ball a little too far off the touchline on that occasion. That's a neat little pass from Talbot for Wittenberg to get in there. I have to say we are nearly 10 minutes into this first half, and it really has been entirely camped out in the Erin Mills end. Norwest have really kind of tied them in, not letting them breathe at all. Rossborough, Remish looking for a ball. To find Wittenberg, but the ball across, evading both Milligan and Talbot. Talbot didn't make the run in. Was happy to let it go. Erin Mills trying to play a little bit of football. Worked that ball out the back. The idea was good. They had the space, but the squared pass from Reese Fowler looking for the space down the line was a little bit loose. This is probably a little bit more sensible on their behalf. The long balls up the middle weren't really getting anywhere. That actually was a ball into some space. Fowler had the green grass in front of her, so to speak. And if the pass was just a touch more accurate, that could have been a good avenue, a good route through to goal. Talbot, nowhere really to go. Chased nicely by Clark Joly, forced backwards, not allowed to turn. Rossborough also had her options cut off by Fowler. As Mitchner is able to get that ball right up the middle. It's good work from Talbot to keep that ball moving. But the ball from Rossborough was a little bit ambitious for Wittenberg to chase. Rushko Barry is able to only hit that ball into Wittenberg. Referee Hick has seen something he's not particularly fond of and has called for a free kick. Oh, a very slick turn from Fowler away from Rossborough. Leaves her in her wake. And then just in her, Reese Fowler in her haste to get a shot away, took it away from herself. And the trailing Bilotta looks to have possibly hurt herself in that chase. Clark Joly with an opportunity to settle that ball down. Public over though with the An inaccurate pass forward. Michener will just clean that one away. Erin Mills now finding their way back into this game. The moment they started looking after the ball a little bit better. Oh, and the ball broke for Publikova. She was looking to take the shot on. But Andrus gives away the free kick in her attempt to win the ball. Whatever the call was, she clearly isn't very happy with it. A touch for Fowler, but beaten back by the wall. It is still alive in the box, though. And she does very, very well to get a toe to it and roll it across the face of Cole. Unfortunately, she was a little bit more alive than her teammates. And nobody was really there to sweep it home, despite the option being there. Oh, it's a nice knock-on from Fowler there, looking for Publikova. That's excellent work from Piszko to deny Andrus. Publikova all of a sudden found herself in a good space. And Erin Mills are back in this game. The first 10 minutes or so of the half was all Norwest. But Erin Mills, again, once they started looking after the ball a little bit better and controlling it, have found themselves with a good deal more opportunities. That's a good ball for Publikova to try and bring down. Oh, a nice turn from Fowler. She looks to get away from Furman, but that's a good challenge. That again, the referee is not pleased with. Furman leaving her feet to make the challenge. Can Erin Mills make this period of pressure count? Oh, and looked like Clark Joly and Fowler between them were looking for that far corner. Fowler looking to bend that one in. Not quite able to get her foot around it. Michener looks up, plays it short to Thomas. This is a better shape from Erin Mills. It's a little bit more aggressive. Wilson poking that one through for Talbot, but carefully shepherded out of play by the retreating Publikova. With fewer than 10 minutes left in the game, we are still tied at 0-0. As mentioned, it feels on the balance that Norwest have had some good opportunities, hit the post earlier on in the first half. But in the last 10 minutes or so, Erin Mills have really forced their way back into the game. Takes that one down nicely. On for Talbot, looking for Wilson on the far side. Just behind her, though. Oh, and now there's space for Sultana to run into. Wilson gives away the free kick. There was a reaction from Sultana, but she had already received the call in her favor. Referee Heek wants the ball in the correct spot. Hamo with a heavy ball in. Let's take a second to mention that Circle K, and who are proud to support soccer in Ontario and be your celebration headquarters. Seems particularly appropriate on today, a day of finals. Circle K are a premier partner of Ontario soccer, so join them after your match. It's Wilson just picking up some speed and actually impeded more by her own teammate Hicks rather than the Erin Mills defense there. Sultana feeds Hamo very nicely. A lot of room for them to run into. And the ball just about cut out by Thomas. Talbot now with a few options. Knocked on for Hicks. Wilson cuts back inside nicely. Oh, and a neat little cutback for Hicks, but she wasn't really able to get a good contact on it. Just popped it up. It was good play, though. Sharp play. and that ball is not going anywhere, but Sultana forced back inside into the two waiting players. With Hrishko Barry able to pick up anything loose. Fleming just maybe losing that in the lights with a loose touch, but the ball bouncing harmlessly out for a goal kick for Norwest. Just 7 minutes left in this game now. Again, we are tied at 0-0. That game yesterday finished 0-0. Hamo getting a little frustrated there and raising her hands into the back of Milligan, winning a free kick. Wittenberg, nowhere really to go, but between her and Bilotti, they managed to work it out. Bilotti glancing across the face of the goal. Oh, a nice touch from Wittenberg, but again, Hrishko Barry very quick off the line. So aware of these loose balls and so aware of the job she needs to do. She's so brave, diving in at the feet of these players every single time. I'm sure wearing the scrum hat helps in terms of her verve, but it's more the timing of it is very impressive. So Rugoli and Kadura, the options in the middle, just evading both of them. Michener looks to get us going quickly, looking for Milligan, who's away from Jinder, but Fowler is back to cover. Fowler finds Kadura. Very nice take indeed. Looking to get past Ramesh. Able to dash past Bilota is there, but in order to block a cross, but it's good work from Kadura. Kadura keeps it in. Isn't able to get past Ramesh, whose ball for Wittenberg is a good one, but she's not doesn't really have anywhere to go. Jinder keeps that one alive, finds Fowler. Fowler plays it sensibly back to her. No real options here. It's good pressing by Norwest rather, forcing loose touches. Andrews, a very sneaky ball for Bilota, who drops looking for this penalty and asking a real question. Referee Heek not interested at all as Erin Mills looked to break the other way. Four minutes left in this game now, and a dramatic late piece of play there around the penalty. Bilota, I'm assuming, hoping that, or claiming rather, that Hrishko Barry, when she came in at her feet, met her before she met the ball. The referee, however, not particularly interested in that. Oh, and the ball very nicely dummied by Murray, but no one left to meet it. Murray quickly playing that one for Furman. A ball, again, flashed across. But just not enough bodies in the box for Norwest to really make an impact. 3 minutes left in this game. Tied games at 0-0. Both teams have been really pushing. It would be a difficult thing to call right now. Furman looking to get that one up, but not getting it any further than Leah Pearson. Michener finding Andrews with a lot of space to run into. That ball for Dominguez was a little behind her, which wasn't really able to do anything with it. Public over now. Really not be able to do anything as Andrews puts a lot of pressure on Murray with a good opportunity, but on her bad foot. Screwing it wide. Winning only a corner. Fortunate to win even that. Oh, a free kick, in fact, for the referee. This is in a very dangerous position indeed. And this could be it. With 2 minutes left on the clock, this could be a decisive play here. Andrews has already hit the post once. Oh, and she strikes it, but Gia Clark Jolly charges it down fearlessly. Dominguez looking for a way through. Can't get anywhere. Clark Jolly making sure that doesn't go anywhere and winning a free kick under the attentions of Murray. 1.5 minutes left in the game. Tied at 0-0. We will go directly to penalties if we are tied at the end of regulation. Oh, and that one is just cut out by Tabata. It was making its way through to the dangerous Rugole, but oh, Hrishko Barry, who had previously been utterly flawless, nearly gifting Norwest the game in the dying seconds. Wilson winning a foul again in a dangerous position. And this is high drama here at the Ontario Soccer Centre. Referee Heek attempting to restore some order to things. Wilson will likely just fire this one in, and that was certainly looking to find its way into the corner, but Hrishko Barry denying it. 30 seconds left on the clock. Oh, and that ball just evading Wilson at the back post from Thomas. Really very, very tense, dramatic stuff here at the Ontario Soccer Centre. Dana Rugole looking to bring this one in, but it's her against three. And Thomas being very strong in that challenge, unafraid of the physical contact. Wilson now looking to turn, driving at the Erin Mills defense. Her shot blocked by Chumder. And that is the end of regulation time, and we will be going to penalties here in the under-18 girls Ontario Indoor Cup. I did mention I saw Rugole and Hrishko Barry practicing penalties in the run-up to the game. I didn't want to say I was being prophetic, but perhaps there was some awareness on their behalf that this is indeed a way that the game could go. The 0-0 game in the final, of course, reflecting the 0-0 game in the tournament round from yesterday. Referee Heek will just be having a word with the coaches. No doubt letting them know the format. In this brief lull before we get to the penalty shoot, I'd like to say thank you all for joining us on our stream here on OntarioSoccer.net. We do stream events regularly throughout the year, so keep an eye on all of the various social media feeds, of course, the Twitters, the Instagrams, the Facebooks. They'll keep you informed and up to speed on when we'll be streaming the tournaments and which tournaments we will be covering. Penalty shootout, of course, possibly the most tense way to ever decide the winner of a championship. But it really becomes, as we see with referee Heek, a coin toss at this stage. I'll say I've been very impressed with the goalkeeping of Hrishko Barry in the Erin Mills net. She was brave and solid throughout the half, including the vital save on the free kick right towards the end of the half. Michener not really tested as much, so we're not too sure what she's capable of. But I will say, the other side, of course, Norwest fashioned more chances and really took much better shots. Struck the ball a little more cleanly, perhaps, as a squad. And it looks like it will be Norwest to get us started with this shootout. First up will be Emily Andrews, who struck the post in the first half and had several good chances in the second. It really is not a big target to aim at this level of the game. Oh, and a save! A save from Hrishko Barry. Andrews looked to roll it right down the middle with a bit of pace, but Hrishko Barry didn't bite on anything. Stayed strong. Leah Pearson now for Erin Mills. Sends Michener the other way, and Erin Mills find themselves 1-0 up already, thanks to Leah Pearson finishing that one. Maddie Wilson now, who again had that excellent free kick effort saved by Hrishko Barry in regular time. Oh, it's a good penalty. It's a good penalty. Hrishko Barry got her hands to it, but it was right in the corner. Now Zara Minhir. In the first half, she had managed to fashion one chance for herself and got a decent effort at goal, but otherwise hadn't really featured. Oh, and a solid penalty slotted into the bottom corner. Michener guessed the right way, but couldn't get down to it. Didn't look to propel herself really into the corners as much. So after 2 penalties, we stand at 2-1 in favor of Erin Mills. Now Avery Thomas just hammers that one into that corner. Hrishko Barry came close to it again, but it was hit with such force that it would have been difficult to have gotten across in time. Now Jude Kadura, unable to convert her spot kick. Taylor Michener down to it. It was right down the middle again. So we are tied now at 2 apiece after 3 kicks. Michaela Talbot for Norwest. Beaten away by Hrishko Barry. Again, Talbot looking for some movement from the goalkeeper, and Hrishko Barry simply not giving it to her, staying resolute. And Gia Clark-Jolly now with an opportunity to put Erin Mills into the lead at this crucial juncture. Oh, and she does it! Excellently taken penalty. Right in the corner again. Michener able to get a hand to it, but not strong enough. We're on to the 5th kick. Erin Mills is 1 ahead, 3-2. If Alicia Dominguez does not score this, Erin Mills will win. Oh, and Hrishko Barry just about gets to it, but it sneaks its way through. And we're down now to this what could be the final kick. Reese Fowler has the opportunity for Erin Mills to win this game. She had looked dangerous all game. There was a couple of good opportunities for her, some good chances, but never really threatened the net. Oh, and the penalty's right down the middle, and saved by Mitchiner. We are into sudden death. The teams will have to name their subsequent kickers here. Mackenzie Bellotta now stepping up for Norwest, perhaps unexpectedly. Oh, and sends it wide. Fires it wide at that left post, struck it sharply, struck it with power, but unable to keep it within the confines of the goal. Kinsley Curran now, with the potential to win this. Oh, but Taylor Mitchiner again saves! With everything on the line. Mitchiner again stands strong. We've now had 3 missed penalties in a row. Some way off the record, which I'm sure you're all aware of. Well, I don't know if it's a world record, but the Japanese Super Cup, which I'm sure everybody watched recently, where there was 9 missed penalties in a row. Here's hoping we don't get quite that far. Jennifer Milligan fires that one home. That's a good penalty. And it all comes down to this now. Sia Chumba will need to score to keep her team in this. Oh, and it's saved! It's saved! Mitchiner saves 3 penalties in a row to win Norwest, the under-18 girls Ontario Indoor Cup. What drama! What tension! That is incredible stuff. After a 0-0 game, fully tied after regulation, we went to the penalty shootout. After 7 penalties, Norwest were able to come out ahead 4-3 with Taylor Mitchiner saving 3 penalties in a row, and you have to say probably earning herself man of the match status as a result. We are going to have the shortest of breaks before we come back for the under-18 boys Ontario Indoor Cup. So we'll give you just a little break, and we'll see you very shortly.